Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Rennch. On today's show, I'm going to give you a project update, and we're going to take care of one little niggling project I've got to get done on the inside of the car. What's up, guys? I know it's been a while since I did a video, but there are reasons behind such things. I had a wedding in Puerto Rico, then I had a speaking gig about podcasting and YouTube in Orlando, and came back from that gig with COVID. So I was down with COVID for a while. And the other part is, this car is ready to go over to Costa Mesa Collision to get painted, but I can't just like bring it over there whenever I want. They're an actual working shop, so they have to be able to fit me in where they can fit me in. Actually, one more setback is that I've been working on some stuff digitally in Fusion 360. So Autodesk sends me this email, they're who make Fusion 360, sends me this email and says, hey, upgrade to the fancy version for free, and we'll show you all our new features. So I do, and I lose all my current work. So I don't know where that is yet, but I hope I don't have to redo everything, because I've done some extensive work on some skeletons for my bumpers that are being made. It's a long story, you'll see it when they come out, but hours and hours and hours of work that I hope are still okay. But let me show you what we're gonna do today. I've got a little project I wanna get done on the inside of the car before it gets sent off to paint, because I want it to look nice when it's done. You see this big cutaway here. On the inside is the custom panel I made for my coolant and fuel lines that are gonna run through there. And this whole thing was completely cut out for the race car, and they've left these like really rough edges on each side. I want to keep my access in this area because I'm going to need to tighten down the hoses once the car is fully painted and we get the hoses in here. So I want to leave as much of this as I can, but I don't want to leave this like really rough edge that is there. So what I'm going to do is weld these 1-inch strips on with some captive nuts so that I can make this kind of cover once I get the entire thing all bolted up when it's painted. I'll make this really cool like aluminum cover or something and be able to bolt the entire cover onto this section. So it'll clean it up quite a bit. So I've already started to create the strip. Let me show you what I've done. All right, so I've taken a piece of 18 gauge steel here and I've just rolled over one edge on one side. It's about 1 inch or so. I didn't really measure it. It didn't really need to. And this should hopefully take care of each side. So I'm going to kind of loosely fit them now, probably cut this thing in half, and then I'll drill a couple of holes and weld the captive nuts on before we weld the pieces right on the car. All right, I've got this thing pretty close now. You can see I've got the nut clamped to the inside. I can't see if it's in the right spot. I think it is, like meaning can I get a bolt through there? But I'm gonna tack it with like one good one and then pull these clamps off just to see. Feels good to like weld and fabricate stuff again. I will tell you that. This is me resisting the urge to grab this with my right hand and burn the living crap out of myself. Even though I just did it. Look at that little hole. Come on, gloves. Yeah, all right. So what I'm looking for here is just to make sure that the hole has the threads in it, which it does. I thought I got a little piece of weld in the thread, but I didn't. Although I did just blow a hole in it. That's shitty. Never a terrible idea to make sure you can actually run a bolt through before you fully weld something up like this, which I can. Good to go. All right, here's donor piece number 1. Came out good. I threw a little weld through primer on each side. The only thing I have left to do is get the curve right. And I'm not exactly sure I'm going to do that yet. I'm going to look around to see if I have anything around here that's like maybe a piece of pipe that's like the right circumference. And then I'll just probably hammer it over. But or I could like tack it at the top and just tack it along and keep bending it down until it's correct. I haven't figured it out yet. It's going to give me a chance to use this profiler tool from Harbor Freight. It's a super cheap one. But basically how it works is it's got all these plastic individual pieces, and as you push the pieces, the shape of whatever you're pushing comes out, and you have a pretty good idea of how to shape something. So I'm going to give this thing a go and see if we can get kind of close to the shape of this curve. There it is. So I found something, and I think I've marked the center of the curve. See how close I got. Might be good enough to weld and then, you know, finish off on the car if it's close. All right, it needs to come up a bit, but it can't because it's being stopped by the captive nut and a little bit of the weld. What to do about such things, I do not know. All right, after sizing it up, I think the only way for me to do what I need to do is to weld it and tack as I go along, like hammer it, tack it, hammer it, tack it, hammer it, tack it, till it curves nicely around the corner. So I will take the wins where I can get them, and then I'll work my way down, and hopefully this thing will be a nice snug fit. All right, so one is in. This thing came out good. I got 2 nice captive nuts there and there, so I can put like a piece that will wrap down when the time comes and bolt it in. Now I'm gonna make a piece that's sort of like, I guess it sticks out of here. I don't know how I'm gonna shape it yet. This whole area actually has to be open, so your foot can kind of get in there, but we'll see. Figure it out. All right, dudes, here we are. I just threw a little bit of primer on there just to keep it from rusting until I can do like a real primer, but that's that finished side, and then it's kind of hard to see, but that's that finished side. And I'll be able to create a plate that sort of curves down here and has a bit of a cutout for the foot, but it'll bolt in now, and that is the whole goal. All right, well, that is done, and I gotta say, it turned out great. That was bugging me. What I didn't want is the car to get painted and then me have to go in there and like fix and do all that fabrication. So now I know that that is good to go. It can get painted. All is well in the world. I've got kind of a big project that I might do to the gauge cluster, but on Porsches, and certainly on this one, I think, once the car is fully painted, you actually go back over where the gauges are on top of the dash, the center, a couple other spots with this kind of like satin black paint after the fact. And that's so if the carpet is out of place, it's just dark in there instead of having like the body color show through. So I'll probably do that at the very least to the dashboard. I'm not sure about the rest, but that's going to be it. Super psyched about working on the car again and being back here with you guys. If you haven't in a while, please consider subscribing. And it is customary to send a high five in the comments and tell me where you're from. So if you're watching this from some cool foreign country, please check in and tell me where. Finally, you can go to Rennch.com/high five if you'd like to figure out how to support the show. And until next time, you guys keep on rocking. I'll talk to you soon.